is part of the problem. But he says so are guns.
It's mental health for sure involved, but we cannot cover up with that. Guns have been, in all the situations that we have witnessed in the last years, guns have been involved.
This is a new timeline emerges of the massacre. Authorities say the gunman spent 40 minutes to an hour inside of the school, opening fire on anyone in front of him. ABC's Maria Villarreal has more.
Border Patrol Sector Chief Jason Owens telling me more than 80 agents responded to the scene.
They put themselves between this crazy person and these innocent children. Whether they were pulling the children to safety from windows, whether they were clearing rooms, whether they were actively engaging that suspect, each and every person played their role, and they did it with all of their heart.
Families taken to the local civic center, giving samples of their DNA, waiting for hours for officials to confirm whether or not their child had died. A long and painful process.
Now, the White House says President Biden and the First Lady will travel to Uvalde in the coming days to comfort the grief-stricken families. In Davos, on the final day of the World Economic Forum, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz calling Russia's invasion of Ukraine a thunderbolt.
This is horrible, and we must never forget the horror about it. We cannot switch off. We cannot push it aside. It has to spur us on a daily basis to do what we can in order to put an end to this horrible war.
Through a translator, meanwhile, officials say Russian forces have shelled more than 40 towns in the eastern Donbas region, part of a new push to seize control. You're listening to ABC News.
Are you more than $10,000 in debt? Feel like you're on a never-ending treadmill, staying in one place and never getting ahead with those minimum payments? You feel like there's no way out? Don't let the credit card companies bully you anymore. There are programs in place to help you get free of your debt, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. The program at Total Financial Freedom can help you get debt-free in months instead of decades. Get off the debt treadmill and stop the harassment. Get free of credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and medical bills. Call now at 800-533-6605 for free information. For about 10 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, too. Get off the endless cycle without having to declare bankruptcy. You'll have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Call Total Financial now at 800-533-6605. That's 800-533-6605.
The search for a woman accused in a love triangle murder now focusing on New York City. Investigators believe Caitlin Armstrong fled there after allegedly killing professional cyclist Anna Mora Wilson. Police think Armstrong attacked her over a relationship Wilson had with Armstrong's boyfriend. The FDA blaming a mailroom mess-up for delaying inspection of a baby formula plant that had to be shut down. ABC's Andrea Fujii.
Back in October, a former employee sent the FDA a report detailing health violations at Abbott's plant in Michigan. But the FDA says it didn't receive the whistleblower complaint until February, 4 months after it got to the agency's mailroom. The FDA blaming the failure on the lack of staffing due to COVID-19. By that time, an infant had already died, and 2 others were hospitalized after drinking formula from the Abbott plant.
And one more time for the Ellen DeGeneres Show.
I love you so much, and it's been an emotional week.
And that emotional week concludes today with the last Ellen Show. Ellen DeGeneres saying goodbye after 19 seasons, more than 3,000 shows, more than 60 Emmys, and in recent years, controversy over toxic workplace accusations. Today's finale will feature DeGeneres' first guest back in 2003, Jennifer Aniston, along with Billie Eilish and Pink, who wrote DeGeneres' theme song, Today's the Day. Expect some tears. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
This is ABC News.
If you're like me and suffer from toenail fungus, please pay close attention. Nail fungus isn't just a cosmetic problem. It can also be dangerous. But no matter what I tried, it seemed like my fungus would never go away. Then I discovered Crystal Flush, the new FDA-registered at-home treatment. This unique 2-step system flushes out fungus at its source and reverses damaged nails. Call now, and for a limited time, you can try Crystal Flush risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-676-1374. That's 800-676-1374.
Dave Packer, ABC News.
It's the time of year to come to NC Tractor for the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors and Bobcat zero-turn mowers. NC Tractor gives fantastic customer service, the best discounts possible, and it's a locally owned business. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue is helping to make outdoor work more enjoyable. Should you have something that you can be proud of for a long time? Massey Ferguson and Bobcat zero-turn mowers. Come look them over. 299 Railroad Avenue, Rutherford. That phone number is 288-0395.
Make sure you have some rain gear with you, especially later this afternoon, as we do expect some showers and storms to roll in. Some of them could be strong. It's morning clouds today, then a chance for showers and storms this afternoon. Some of the rain heavy, the high in the mid-70s. Early evening showers and storms, then mostly cloudy overnight, the low in the mid-60s. And then as a cold front comes in tomorrow, scattered showers and storms. Some of these could be strong to severe, the high in the upper 70s to low 80s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
We're getting some light rain here in Rutherford, even now as we speak. At 6 minutes after 7 o'clock, we'll get some rain off and on. It may get heavier at times and possibly even some thunderstorm activities developing later today. But highs expect to be around 81 and gusting wind about 18 miles per hour. If storms develop, you could get a little more than that, but right now that's the prediction. Tonight, partly cloudy with showers and a chance of thunderstorm. Now, the good part of all that is it goes away on Friday and Saturday looking good. Looking good. Mostly sunny on Friday with highs around 80. Wind gusting about 13 miles per hour. Mostly clear Friday night with lows around 60. And Saturday, mostly sunny, and we'll stay around 82 for our daytime high on Saturday. So nice weekend weather coming up. So we have to endure the rain for today. And it looks like we may get quite a bit of it. We'll keep you posted on the activities of the rain. Right now, 6 minutes after 7 o'clock, and I have these death announcements. Bobby Jones has passed away. Bobby Jones was born in Forest City, and his graveside service will be held Saturday, May 28th at 2 o'clock at Britain Presbyterian Church in Rutherford. And Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Bobby Jones. Sue Tony Brooks, 83, of Mooresboro, died Wednesday, May 25th. Those arrangements are also incomplete and will be announced by Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service. Again, that's Sue Tony Brooks of Mooresboro. Perry Stanley, 44 years old when he passed. This obituary is incomplete, too, at this time, and will be rendered to us when completed by Crow's Mortuary for Perry Stanley. Irene Spicer Hall, age 79, of Forest City, died May 23rd at hospice of the Carolina Foothills. The funeral service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Friday, May 27th at Riverside Baptist Church with Reverend Ted Blankenship officiating. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. The family will receive friends from 6 until 8 o'clock today at Harrelson Funeral Home. Harrelson Funeral Home, serving the family of Irene Spicer Hall. Pauline Price Morgan, age 70, of Grover, passed away Sunday at Atrium Health Cleveland in Shelby. A memorial service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Saturday, May 28th at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Pauline Price Morgan of Grover. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. For the complete information on these and others, as they become available to us, we'll report those this morning at 11:35 with the complete information, and again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report with Kevin Pleasant here on the Most Information for the Foothills, WCAB in Rutherford. Well, the Braves had another good night last night over the Phillies. They beat them 8-4. Tuesday night, they beat them 6-5. They have one more game in the series to play against them. That'll be tonight. And we'll have that game at 6:05 with the pre-talk. And we'll see if they can pull out another one to make it 3-4 with the Braves and the Phillies. And then after the Phillies, they take on the Marlins for a series. The Forest City Owls pick up this week. You get information from them, the Forest City Owls. So keep that in mind. Mark this calendar date down to June 10th through 11th. Cherry Bounce Festival is kicking in. Forest City Pavilion on Park Square, live music by Balsam Range, Friday at 7:30. Gates open at 6:30. Now here is Bill O'Reilly with the morning update.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, many timeshare owners are very upset because their yearly dues have nearly doubled. Well, Lone Star will guarantee the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and in a specific time frame. With their A-plus rating at the Better Business Bureau, clients know that Lone Star Transfer is a company you can trust. For a free consultation, please go to LoneStarTransfer.com or call 855-551-7066.
This is Brian Dean Wright filling in for Bill O'Reilly. On this Thursday, I am thinking about Vladimir Putin. 3 months after launching his war on Ukraine, the Russian president has gone from tolerated dictator to global pariah. Before the invasion, many believed Vlad may have been the richest person in the world. According to Fortune magazine, Putin is likely richer than Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos combined. His estimated net worth, $200 billion. As of 2021, Bad Vlad lived in 28 homes, including a $1 billion palace on the Black Sea. His real estate portfolio includes a global network of properties, including pads in southern France, New York City, and nearly every capital in Europe. Vlad even maintains a $5 million apartment located directly beneath the world-famous Monte Carlo Casino in Monaco. Putin operates a personal fleet of 700 cars, 58 private planes, 20 helicopters. Russia's version of Air Force One, called the Flying Kremlin, it features 2 golden toilets and a private 3-bedroom residence. Nearly all of his assets are scattered across tax shelters in the Caribbean, South America, Cuba, and China. While his net worth is valued in the billions, Bad Vlad still pretends to be a man of the people, because according to the Kremlin, the president is paid a salary of just $100,000 per year, and Vlad lives in a modest 800-square-foot apartment. Following Putin's misadventures in Ukraine, that may end up being true. Back after this.
AMAC is the leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization. AMAC gives you access to exclusive benefits, insightful news, and a magazine full of uncensored content. They are pushing back against efforts to defund the police, weaken the borders, and corrupt our youth. But they need your help. Please stand with AMAC at amac.us. That's amac.us. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
Good morning. Good morning.
The Department of Veterans Affairs is so innovative, it not only improves the lives of veterans, it transforms the lives of healthcare professionals who serve them with access to the latest technologies and remarkable benefits. Transform your future at vacareers.va.gov.
The music's on us on WCAB.
On May 30, 1899, a stagecoach was robbed. Nothing new about that. Hundreds had been robbed before, but this time one of the 2 holdup people was a woman. Her name was Pearl Hart. She was born Pearl Taylor in 1878. Pearl was a small, slight woman who looked like a boy. At the age of 16, she married a ne'er-do-well by the name of William Hart. All he cared about was liquor and gambling. Not wanting that kind of a life, Pearl left him on several occasions. Wherever she would go, William seemed to show up. He would swear he had changed, and then Pearl would take him back. He would then spend whatever money she had, and this was followed by a separation. Finally having her fill, in 1898, she sent her 2 children back east and headed for Phoenix, Arizona, where she was a waitress. Pearl met another man, also of less than stellar character. The man's name was Joe Boot. By now, Pearl had become street-wise. Although she maintained the persona of a naive victim, she talked Joe into joining her into a stage robbery. Pearl was able to convince him that it would be easy and no one would get hurt. The holdup went well, and they came away with about $400 and a couple of pistols. But that's where going well ended. After leaving the robbery scene, Pearl and Joe got lost. It started raining, and they had to spend a wet, restless night under a tree. The next morning, they were awakened by a rifle poking them in the ribs. It was the sheriff's posse. The next time we're together, we'll see how this shy, quiet woman became a famous celebrity who even appeared in Cosmopolitan magazine. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Jesse James Railroad Express has added 2 new sandwiches to their menu. Try the all-new crispy chicken sandwich with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, or the crispy deluxe with lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, bacon, and cheese. Enjoy a refreshing milkshake or a hand-dipped ice cream cone. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. Closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. Call 828-447-4644. Mondays only, hot dog with mustard, chili, and onions for only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
Congratulations to Jesse James Railroad Express, voted 2021 Best of Rutherford County hot dogs and hamburgers 5 years in a row.
Now it's 16 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's go to the phones and find out what's been going on to keep us informed. Here is Lieutenant Lowry from the Sheriff's Department to tell us what's been going on. Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for being with us. What's on the report?
In the past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 166 calls. The jail currently has 199 detainees in the jail, and they have processed 17 arrests. Under incident reports, we have Deputy McLaughlin of the Sheriff's Office reported an incident of resisting public officer. That subject was arrested. His name was Christopher Airwood of Forest City, charged with resisting public officer and probation violation. Gregory Millwood of Mooresboro reported an incident of breaking and entering. And David Stay of Mooresboro reported an incident of damage to property. Under arrest reports, we have James Dillon Queen of Bostic, charged with failure to appear on felony. Christopher Jones of Ellenboro, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor ×3. We have Chad Everett Hunt of Spindale, charged with failure to report change of address. And Patricia Denise Watkins of Spindale, charged with failure to appear on felony. And that's it.
Lieutenant Lowry, thank you very much, and you be safe out there today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And rainy conditions here in Rutherfordton on this Thursday morning, and we'll get to 911 call in just a moment. Imagine quality primary care health and urgent care services for you without the hassles. It is available to you and your family from Brock Family Care. Family medicine the way it ought to be. No insurance to deal with, general primary medical care, chronic disease prevention and management, urgent care, medication management, and so much more. Brock Family Care is a membership-based model where patients pay their primary care provider directly through monthly or annual fees rather than paying through an insurance provider. Not accepting any forms of health insurance cuts out the hassles and allows for more personalized and affordable health care. It may be time to move into this kind of plan for you and your family or your business. Call today and get more information. Here is the number. Write it down. 828-382-7282. This is the way health care should be. Call 828-382-7282. Brock Family Care, 289 Shallow Road, Forest City. Amanda's on the phone now from 911 Communication Center to tell us what kind of calls they've received in the past few hours. Amanda, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. What kind of calls you been getting?
In the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Center has processed 384 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 49 for the emergency medical services, 166 calls for the Sheriff's Office, 58 for Forest City, 8 for Lake Lure, 38 for Rutherford, and 60 for Spindale. Bills Creek Fire Department had 2 motor vehicle crashes and a fire investigation. Hudlow had a residential fire alarm, and Rutherfordton had a residential fire alarm, and that is all.
Thanks so much. Enjoy your day over there.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Now we're heading over toward the Hudlow Fire District. The SDO Fire District, and that's where Ruby Taylor is reporting from this morning, and we'll get to her on the phone right now. Ruby, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Moving slow.
How are you?
Yeah. I can't get started this morning, Jim.
Well, that happens to all of us from time to time. It sure does. What's on the report?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls, and on my birthday calendar, I've got Stephen Cole, and Lanny Luckadoo having birthday. Hope they have a nice day. And this is Max Bright, and I hope they have a nice anniversary. And the signs are in the neck today, no head today, and going to the head tomorrow. That's all I got.
Thanks, Ruby. Hope things go well for you the rest of the day, and I'll see you.
Okay, thank you, and bye.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Now we're going to talk with Gary Wilson up in the Fairfield Mountains, Bills Creek community, and he can tell us everything we need to know this morning. Gary, how you doing?
I'm all right, Jim. You got your lifeboat ready?
Looks like we're going to have to rebuild one or something. It's been...
I hope we don't get that kind of rain, but they're talking like we could have some pretty heavy rain time. It's all over with today and tonight, and some storms with it maybe. And we had just steady rain all night since about 11, 12 o'clock last night up here, and nothing heavy though so far, but sounds like it might get that way. We'll have to wait and see.
Potential flooding in those flood zones that's likely to happen. So I don't know. I hope we don't get that much either. But
I know some of my weather app this morning, they've got a flood watch issued for the area, so be on the lookout for standing water and low-lying places, and check on your neighbors if they live in places close to creeks and everything. Make sure they're all right.
Every time they announce those kind of things, I think back to Lake Lure in Chimney Rock a number of years ago when that flood came through there and wiped out some businesses there in Chimney Rock, and it was pretty bad.
Yeah, good ones come through. Not good, but the big ones come through there at times over the years. I remember 3 or 4 different times we was up through there. And one time we was up in Chimney Rock up through there, and the water was almost up to the window in the vehicles. So it was flooding, so they got flooded out pretty bad that time. So I hope we don't get anything like that.
I hope not.
We don't need that. But we've been quiet overnight as far as fire calls go, and we'll see what today brings in the night. And after we get through this, then we've got some nice warm weather coming up soon. Like
weekend looks good. Sure does.
About the middle of next week looks like go up close to 90 degrees. That's about time to hoe the corn in, won't it?
We found a big oak tree to sit under with a glass of lemonade and a...
That'd be hard to beat now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah.
All right, Jim. We'll talk at you tomorrow, I guess.
Gary, I appreciate you. Thank you, and have a good day.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Jim, have you seen Henson Building Materials' newly remodeled showroom? It's gorgeous.
You mean where they have a full line of hardware and building materials for homeowners and home builders?
I mean where Jamie, Terry, and Tony, their friendly staff, treat me like family. Oh, they're so nice.
Hey, are they taking COVID precautions and have curbside service?
Of course. They're so thoughtful.
I do need some materials, but I don't think they'll fit in our car.
Oh, silly. They have professional delivery so we can get whatever I want.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street in Forest City.
Building starts here.
Braves tonight, 6:05. They close out a series with the Phillies. They've won 2 of those out of 3 so far. Hopefully they'll pull out a 4th one, make it 3 out of 4. That wouldn't be bad. That'd be a good way for them to move on to play the Marlins after that. Let's head over to Boston, North Carolina. Devern Upton's on the phone to give us an update from that community. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good.
It's almost Friday, isn't it?
It almost is.
Okay, over here in Boston this morning we have a temperature of 61 degrees, very damp morning. Fire department had no calls, but we do appreciate everything that the fire department does. Washburn's Outreach will be giving out food from 9 to 12:30 today. If you need a box of food, go by there. Don't forget our Blessed Box. It's located on Depot Street. Go by and leave a blessing or pick you up a blessing. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day.
All right. I hope you have a good day, too. Thank you for keeping us posted, keep us informed, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale, your local Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we focus what's important to you. We create a personalized strategy backed by our advice, our tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we partner together to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Contact me at any time at 828-287-9197. We'll sit down, talk, and we're going to make a strategy that's right for you.
Thanks, Andrew. And let's turn our attention down to Hudlow Fire District. Bob Hodge is there. Good morning, Bob.
Well, good Thursday morning.
You get a little rain up there, Bob?
It's getting a little rain up here. Looks like it's going to be another rainy day up here today.
I believe we're going to get a bunch of it today.
Looks like it is, off and on. So, but maybe we'll get it out before the weekend, so we'll have a pretty Memorial Day weekend.
That'd be nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like
so everybody can get out and enjoy the weekend there. But maybe we won't have any of them bad storms or anything. So, but up here right now, things are going along quiet. Traffic's moving along good, and with the fire department, we've answered 4 medical calls and a fire alarm call. And Jim, that's about it. Maybe it'll be pretty quiet today, and won't have anything bad happen.
Well, I hope you can get a lot of rest today, Bob. I know you've been working hard and tired and give out and you need a rest, right?
Oh, we always need rest there. Oh, well, I heard Imogene laugh. I don't know what she laughed about there. So.
Oh, I don't know about that. We'll have to check on her, see what she's laughing at.
Yeah, she must think I don't need the rest there. Well, Jim, you take care and have a good day now.
You too, Bob. Thanks. Appreciate you. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's Bob Hodge reporting out of Hudlow Fire District, 28 minutes after 7 o'clock. That's a store in our county that we're so proud that we can call our own. That's Washburn Store. They're in the Washburn community. They have a lot of things. They're historically significant, too, by the way. Those of you who are new to the area, haven't discovered them yet, please go by there. Wastic Sunshine Highway. They're a Washburn community, Washburn General Store. You'll find items made right here in North Carolina, made in the U.S. of A. They have Seagrove handicrafted candles, aprons and bonnets, Carolina Carpenter beach wraps, cheer wine. They stock cheer wine, jams and jellies, bologna, big old hunk of bologna. You can get you some. All those seeds that you've been waiting to plant out, it's still time for you to do some of that. Go by and see what they have in stock. They keep them well prepared. Why don't you go by and maybe get you a pair of working gloves to work in the garden, a hat to keep the sun out of your eyes. But whatever you're looking for, I bet you can find it there, including nails and screws at the back of the store there. It's a fun place to shop, just to browse around. All right, let me see here. It's 29 minutes after 7 o'clock, and it's time now for us to move on to the next caller, and I believe that would be Sue Price over in the Cherry Mountain Fire District. Am I right, Sue?
You're right.
All right. Peg down right this morning.
I hope you're having a good day today.
I'm having a pretty good day.
Well,
hope you are.
Yeah, so far so good.
Good.
Well, let's see. I didn't have any calls from the fire department. Don't have any birthdays on my church calendar. On my personal calendar, I've got Lynn Wright and an anniversary for Jim and Linda Bradley. So I hope they'll have a good day. And let's see, Fairview's got birthdays for Caitlin Melton and Phyllis Shepard, and an anniversary for Stacy and Lisa Hudson. So I hope they'll have a good day today on their special day. Nothing on first sprouts for today. So not too many celebrating, but we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day and enjoy it. And in my announcements, the Sunshine Church will be having their memorial service on June the 5th at 11 a.m., no meal. Their speaker is Steve Harmon, and Duncan's Creek Memorial is June 5th, starting at 11 a.m., and they'll be having a picnic lunch to follow the service. And also Sunday the 29th, the Piney Mountain Boys will be at Duncan's Creek Church for to sing during the worship service. So, and I think that's the only announcement I have, Jim. It's just quiet and calm over here, looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one.
Thanks, Sue. Hope you have one as well, and behave yourself over there. And we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. 7:31 here on the Thursday morning Call Around the County News Report, and we'll check in and see if we can find some folks over there to drop in just a few moments, see if we get a report from them right after this. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. I mentioned this the other morning and had some calls inquiring more about it, so let me give the story to you again, information you might want to follow up on. Thanks to the Community Foundation of Western North Carolina and United Healthcare, free over-the-counter medicine would be given away for free on Saturday, June 4th. The NC Med Assist event will be from 9 until 2 at the Isothermal Community College in Spindale. The medicine is given away for free and is open to any North Carolina resident. There are no income requirements and no identification is required. The event will take place rain or shine. No appointment is necessary and pre-registration is not required. However, individuals may pre-order online to request specific over-the-counter medication by visiting www.medassist.org/mobile. The pre-order may be picked up at the event. So that's coming up June 4th on a Saturday. All right, let's head over to the Drop-In Family Mart in Boston and talk with Jessica. Jessica, it's been a while.
Yes, sir, it sure has. How are you?
I am doing great. It's good to talk to you. What's going on?
Good. Well, everybody come down and see me. We have breakfast to cooking right now. We got bacon, egg, and cheese, sausage biscuits. We got a special with them sausage biscuits for the rest of the month. It's 2 sausage biscuits for $3.50. So if you like sausage, come on down. We got sausage biscuits. We got breakfast pizza. You can get a whole breakfast pizza for $11.99, or you can get a hunk for $3.49. I don't know if you ever tried that breakfast pizza, but it's really good. We do. A lot of people have been coming in asking if we make pancakes. We used to not make pancakes, but we are going to start making pancakes the first of the month. So just keep that in mind. I don't know how well they'll turn out, but I'm going to try my best.
I'll bet you'll do a good job of that.
I appreciate that. But everybody come on down and see me. I'm here today. I'm going to try to cook ribs Also, we still have our barbecue baby back ribs, a half a rack for $6.99. Hopefully, I'll have them done around 12:30. We also have a special going on for the lunch. It's a hot wing snack for $3.99. That comes with 3 hot wings, 4 wedges, and a roll and a sauce for $3.99. Also, remember we do have a meat department. He has a special going on this week, hamburger for $4.09 a pound. So everybody come on down and see him if you're looking to cook out or just looking to cook something for supper. And we got fresh produce. Our truck come yesterday, so we got fresh produce, fresh milk, all of that good stuff. And just remember our hours are Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday it's 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then on Sundays the deli is closed, but the store's open from 11 to 6. And we look forward to seeing everybody.
Jessica, thank you so very much. It's good to have you back on. I know you're busy. You still need help. Still need help over there?
I'm actually okay as of right now, but I can't say that for sure. Can't promise you nothing. But honestly, if anybody is still looking for a job, please don't just, oh well, she's not hiring, because let me tell you something. All the drop-ins are always looking to hire somebody. So go to the main office, fill your application out, and when a position comes available, if you're qualified, they will give you a call.
Thanks, Jessica. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye. And this is going to be a cookout kind of weekend with Memorial Day coming up. A lot of people picnicking and cooking out back, so go over there and find some of those steaks and chicken that you could cook outdoors with. 36 minutes after 7 o'clock, and we'll make our next phone call up to Shingle Hollow right after we have our car inspected.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Tina White, how are you?
I am doing wonderful this Thursday morning.
Well, you're looking
rainy day.
You're looking wonderful.
If you only saw me, now let me tell you, I look fabulous. Brushed my hair or my teeth this morning yet.
Oh my! Well, it's good we don't have a camera going over there.
Be thankful. I'm very thankful you don't. Well, up here in Shingle Hollow this morning, it is 63 degrees, and it is a beautiful morning because it's raining my kind of day. It's really raining up here, so we're expecting to do that all day, aren't we?
Pretty heavy rain?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
We get a little light shower here. Yes, it's supposed to rain off and on all day today. So you should be happy all day.
I am. I'm going to be happy all day. For birthdays today, we have Miss Debbie Haynes. If you're out and about and you see Debbie, tell her happy birthday. And we have an anniversary for Kevin and Rhonda Lovelace. And if you know Kevin and Rhonda, tell them happy anniversary.
Oh, yeah, we know them well.
Wonderful people, Debbie, Kevin, and Rhonda. And on Saturday morning, May 28th, the White House Community Clubhouse is having their country buffet breakfast from 7 to 10 a.m., and they're going to have a yard sale. So the country buffet breakfast will have, like I said, it's going to be all you can eat: eggs, sausage, liver mush, pancakes, biscuits, gravy. So you can't go wrong. If you want a good breakfast, head on out to White House Community Clubhouse on Saturday morning. It's $6 a plate for adults, $3 for children, and under five and under is free. Then Saturday evening, there is a community-wide fish fry on Saturday, May 28th at Piney Knob Baptist Church. They're serving plates from 4 to 7 p.m. The plates are going to be $10.50 each. Each plate includes your choice of flounder, perch, or catfish, French fries, hush puppies, slaw, dessert, and drink. And they also have takeout orders. So if you wanted to call in a takeout order, the numbers are 828-289-3348 or 748-4788. So everybody should have something to do this weekend.
That's right.
Well, and I was glad to hear Jessica say this morning that she's finally fully staffed. That makes me happy.
Yes, I'm glad too. I know she's glad of that as well, and customers are happy they can get waited on quicker, and it puts more people back to work and more economy rolling better.
I know that at Green Hill they still have their wonderful food. They've got biscuits in the morning, and if we happen to be going out and about, and I'll stop down to get a biscuit, they're short-staffed as well, unless they've got fully staffed. But it's worth a wait, and I'm sure it is there at Drop-In too. It is worth a wait.
Absolutely. All right, anything else going on?
Nothing that I know of.
All right.
We're just going to enjoy the day.
You enjoy the rain, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, everybody be safe out there, and God bless you.
Thank you.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
All right, we're heading up toward Union Mills now. That's where we'll find Brenda Callie. She sleeps up there and eats up there and walks up and down the road sometimes and takes care of the big dog and all those things and keeps her eye on the community for us, and she's ready to tell us what's going on up there. Miss Callie, how are you doing?
I'm fine. How about yourself, Mr. Bishop, on this tremendous Thursday morning, and it's just a rain.
Is it raining pretty hard up there?
Well, it's not real hard, but it's steady.
Yeah.
Every now and then the wind blows, and it sounds like it's raining harder.
Well, we don't want any storms today. We just want a little rain. That'd be about it.
Yeah, we don't want no storms, no. I don't like a storm. I am very scared of a storm. But anyway, we hope everybody's having a good day. It's a good day just to stay inside and do your puzzle or word search puzzle or crossword or whatever and just enjoy the day. I've got 60 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays or anniversaries, but in way of announcement, Friends for a Cure Against Cancer inside yard sale proceeds to benefit Relay for Life, and the date is June the 11th, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. This will be at Desertsville Community Building, 74 Clubhouse Road, Nebo, North Carolina, 28761 between 226 South and Vane Mountain Road. And also on the 11th, Gilkey School Community Center will have a buffet breakfast starting at 7 a.m. and going till 10 a.m. Adults, $8. Kids, 6 to 12, $3. Kids 5 and under free, and money goes to help support the community center. So far, that's all I know what's going on. It's just short, sweet, quiet, and rainy.
And it's a Thursday.
And it's a Thursday, and tomorrow's Friday, then you got the weekend off.
Yes.
Yeah, and you got a honey-do list?
Oh, yes. It gets longer and longer.
You planning a big cookout?
I don't think so. Probably not. We've got 2 or 3 events we have to attend over the weekend. But
yeah.
I'll be in downtown Monday at downtown Forest Hill for that Memorial Day celebration they do every year. So invite folks to come out for that. They recognize all those who have lost their lives in the military. It's always a big event, 11 o'clock on Monday morning.
We keep having school shootings. We're going to have a Memorial Day for that.
That is so sad.
I know it. That just I can't imagine in my wildest imagination, something like that happening, and you go there and you think your child's going to be alive, and it ain't.
Yeah, and I don't want to get started right now, but it seems to me that it'd be crazy that these politicians, like the President of the United States, yelling about, we got to do something about all these guns. Well, it's not the guns, folks. It's the people with the guns. It's the people who have the heart problem. Need to get the heart and the mind straightened out. There won't be any shootings like that.
Well, that's true too.
I've got several guns, and none of them have never gone off and shot anybody without my help.
Well, I've got guns, but I don't have none of them kind like them assault rifles.
Yep.
I don't think they should be for just anybody. I think that should be used in war against, when you're in war against somebody, not just to go out and shoot.
Well, if a person's mental condition was right and his heart condition was right, it wouldn't matter if he had 14 of those weapons. He's not going to misuse them.
Well, that's true too.
But you got to get your heart right and your mind right.
That's right.
They can use anything to kill people. You can use a butcher knife if your heart's right, not right.
That's right, or a Molotov cocktail or anything.
You run over people with an automobile, which has been done many times.
Oh yeah, that's true too. But it's just, and it's mind-boggling to think that we're the only country that has that, aren't we?
Well, weather seems to be the most newsworthy of it. I don't know who else is doing that, but these politicians that are so blind to think that they don't want to deal with the fact that kids are growing up in school not being taught what's right and what's wrong anymore.
That's right. They took prayer out of school. They took devotion out of school. They took the Bible out of school, and this is the results of it, isn't it?
It is. All right, Brendan, I'll let you go before I get started here.
Okay. I still think you ought to run for president.
They wouldn't like me. They wouldn't like me.
Yeah, they would. You have a good one.
See you, Brenda. Bye-bye. Brenda Kelly reporting in from Union Mills. We're going over to Ellenboro next.
Turn up the savings, turn up the value, and turn up the fun with BarkMobile's Turn Up the Switch event. Turn up the style with a new Samsung Galaxy A32, free when you make the switch. Or bring your own device and save $100. Plus talk, text, and stream like you want with unlimited data for just $35 a line per month with 2 lines. All on our new 5G network. Mobile made easy just got even easier. Snag the savings at BarkMobile's Turn Up the Switch event today. Bark Mobile. Mobile made easy. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details or visit mybarkmobile.com/terms and conditions.
Ellenboro is our next stop on our chuck wagon this morning. We're riding over there and talk with Luther Gilligan to see what's been developed over there with the fire district and the fire department, see what's going on. Luther Gilligan, good morning.
Good morning, you two. Nice day down here.
Is it a nice day over there? Good.
Good. We always have a good day down here.
Yes, sir. Every time you rise and shine, it's a good day, right?
The trap, if I can get my boots on, stand up. That's a great day.
I agree.
Be quiet there at this point. Not a whole lot going on. Fire department had a quiet day yesterday and last night. They didn't have any calls at all, so everything going good on that side. And just nothing else going there. Everybody's just getting their gas, their biscuits, heading on out to work. So you have a great day up there.
Yeah, gasoline prices gone down over there?
No, that's still going up. It ain't going down for a while.
No, I was just teasing.
We were betting on $5 a gallon by Labor Day. I mean, by Memorial Day, but
I wouldn't be at all surprised.
Might not make it that high.
Well,
come close though.
It's gonna be mighty close to it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in average of $4.68, something like close to $5 for the average gallon. So I guess somebody is $5.
That's about $3.50 too much.
That's way too much.
You have a wonderful day over there, and I'll check with you again tomorrow.
All right, you take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Well, we can celebrate birthdays when we can't do anything else. 26th day of May, May 26th. If you are celebrating on this day, we want to know it. Call us at 287-3356. Birthdays, anniversaries are coming up next. Were you born on this date? Or were married on this date? Or know someone that is? Let us know. Call Todd right now at 287-3356. Meanwhile, while you're doing that, think about where you're going to have breakfast or lunch today, or an afternoon snack, or maybe just a mid-morning treat with some delicious daylight donuts. Yes, I am talking about Granny B's. They are getting a great reputation of being fine cooks over there. At breakfast, with the omelets, the pancakes, the eggs, and the bacon and the sausage, and you can triple that up. You can mix that up any way you want to mix it up. Plus, they have a great coffee arrangement over there. They got several different kinds of specialty coffees. You'll find that Granny B's would welcome you, and you'll find that to be one of your favorite stops for breakfast and lunch and afternoon, mid-morning snacks. Granny B's there in Spindale, Main Street, right next to the Shake Shop. Why don't you give them a try? See what you think about them. I think I know I love them.
Happy birthday.
Birthdays today include Philip Murray over in Boston. Philip turns 47 today. My goodness, Philip, good morning and happy birthday. David Bruce Murray of Boston, he's having a birthday too? Brothers and having birthdays on the same day. They're not twins, though, are they? Kelly Hendricks is 40 up in Union Mills, and Joe Odell is having a birthday today as well. Other birthdays today include Al Jolson, 1886 was his birthday. John Wayne, the actor, 1907, one of my favorite cowboys. He died in 1979. Jay Silverhills, my favorite Indian actor, 1912 was when he was born. He died in 1980, Kim Wasabi. James Arnaz, one of my favorite Western guys, also was born in 1923, died in 2011. I got to have my Gunsmoke fix every weekend. 1926, Miles Davis, jazz musician, was born, died in 1991. Steve Nicks, a singer, was born in 1948, and Hank Williams Jr., born in 1949. Other things happened on this date. 1805, Lewis and Clark spot the Rocky Mountains. 1897, Dracula by Bram Stoker is published in London. 1927, the last and the 50th million Modet, is that right? Model T is produced, yeah. Last of the 50th million Model T is produced. This is National Blueberry Cheesecake Day. Yeah, I could go with that. And National Paper Airplane Day. Now you're up to date on this date in history here on WCAB. Keys to Confident Living coming up next.
One of the first men to be responsible for the follow-up of those who came forward in a Billy Graham crusade was Dawson Trotman. Tragically, his life was ended long before it seemed his time was up. Billy Graham officiated at the funeral. Part of the words of the message focused on how to destroy one's life, or in other words, how not to succeed. This was, of course, in contrast to how Trotman had lived his life. The first way to destroy one's life is to be lazy and do nothing more than absolutely necessary, just get by. The second way is to work very hard at climbing the ladder of success and then find out that it was not worth all the effort. To discover that the goals that once seemed so important are empty and guilt-ridden. Such an experience can leave a person angry, bitter, and depressed. The third way is to dabble in a lot of different things but have no focus and consequently never accomplish much. Graham pointed out that Trotman had chosen a worthwhile goal for his life and then pursued it unswervingly. He was focused and devoted. And even though his days were ended earlier than men thought necessary, his life was filled with great achievement. We frequently need to stop and reevaluate our lives and refocus our priorities. We need to ask, to what are we devoted? Let's make sure that we learn how to be truly successful, rather than simply falling into a pattern that will destroy our lives. This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
The music's on us on WCAB.
I'm Dave Packer. Uvalde, Texas, coming together last night for a vigil and to begin the emotional healing after America's second deadliest school shooting. Uvalde's religious leaders led a congregation of hundreds. Pastor Tony Grubin of Baptist Temple Church.
Our hearts are broken. We are devastated.
And new details this morning about how long the Texas elementary school shooter was able to carry out his murderous rampage. U.S. Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz.
Our agents acted swiftly and very heroically.
ABC's Aaron Katersky with more on the investigation.
The gunman appears to have had a lot of time to kill the young students and 2 faculty members. State police in Texas said the shooter was inside the school for 40 minutes to an hour before a heavily armed team of agents from Customs and Border Protection killed the gunman. Authorities portrayed the first responders as having prevented additional carnage by containing the suspect to a pair of adjoining classrooms. The 18-year-old gunman had messaged a friend that he had shot his grandmother and was planning to shoot up a school, but authorities were told have found no document that would help understand the motive. Aaron Katersky, ABC News, New York.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken to speak to the Asia Society today, an address to spell out the Biden administration's approach to China, expected to lay out a 3-pronged approach: invest, align, and compete. Oklahoma has passed the most restrictive abortion law in America.
Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt signed into law the most restrictive abortion ban in the country, which took effect immediately. The measure outlaws nearly every abortion from the moment of fertilization, the only exceptions to save the life of the mother or if the pregnancy is a result of rape or incest, but only if it has been reported to law enforcement. The measure does not apply to morning after pills like Plan B. Lionel Moyes, ABC News.
And you're listening to ABC News.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. That's 800-401-6681.
It's one of the biggest business deals of the year so far. Computer chip maker Broadcom striking a deal to buy cloud technology company VMware for $61 billion. Tragedy at a hospital in the West African country of Senegal. A fire in the neonatal unit has killed 11 newborns. Only 3 babies were saved. Final days of the trial over Johnny Depp's defamation lawsuit against his ex Amber Heard. She may return to the stand today for more testimony. Closing arguments are expected tomorrow. They're suing each other for tens of millions of dollars. There's a new way for some people to make money on TikTok. ABC's Michelle Franzen has more.
TikTok Live is the social media app's latest attempt to compete with other live streaming platforms like YouTube and Twitch. The new Live subscription service lets users contribute a regular donation to their favorite creators. Sensor Tower's Stephanie Chan says features like this have been successful on other platforms.
The top in-app purchase in Twitch's app is the 1-month subscription to streamers on that platform. So, we've seen users are very open to subscription formats to support the creators they like.
Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
And Amazon's first ever brick and mortar store is open in L.A. Customers can browse around and see something they like. They can just scan a QR code. Clothes can then automatically be sent to a fitting room or the front for purchase. This is ABC News.
Do you owe the IRS $8,000 or more? Are you a few years behind on your filing? Are you going through an audit and have no idea what to do? You need an ally, fast. Ally's Tax Relief Negotiators can protect you from all IRS collections, but have you called them today? Their team of enrolled agents, tax attorneys, and CPAs are your allies to fix all your tax problems. Take the first step to getting the IRS off your back. Call Ally's Tax Relief today for a free consultation. 800-957-0325. Ally's Tax Relief. 800-957-0325.
Dave Packer, ABC News.
We do have a couple of rounds of showers and thunderstorms coming in today and during the day tomorrow. Some of the rain could be heavy. Would not be surprised if we saw some localized flooding, and some of the storms could be strong to severe. We're on the lookout later this afternoon and into the evening for these showers and storms. The high in the mid-70s. Tonight's low in the mid-60s. It's mostly cloudy. Tomorrow, partly to mostly cloudy. More scattered showers and storms that could be strong. The high in the upper 70s to low 80s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Thank you very much, Mike Mays. 8:05, we're getting light rain here in Rutherfordton in beautiful downtown Whiteside Road. Light rain and 62 degrees. Should be coming and going pretty much all day. Some heavy shower later, some thunderstorms possible today, but getting up to about 81 for a daytime high. Wind about 18 miles per hour in gusts. And then tonight, more showers and thunderstorms likely. Lows around 64, a little bit more than we are right now. We're at 62 right now. Then on Friday and Saturday, it's looking good. The whole weekend, as a matter of fact, looking good for Memorial Day weekend. Let's enjoy that as much as we can. We'll have that sheriff's report again in just a few minutes this hour. Lieutenant Laura will replay that report. Those of you who missed it earlier, we have a lot to pack in these next few minutes. 9:05 this morning is My Great America with Jim and Butch. Be sure to hang around and see what those two guys are going to be talking about today. Of My Great America with Jim and Butch. Right now, let's hear this. I'll be back with news from here and there.
Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continue to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
Smith Drugs of Forest City is offering the flu vaccines. You can walk in Monday through Friday or by appointment only on Saturdays. The Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers, if you need assistance registering your recall devices, you can call the Home Medical Department at 245-4591. And Smith Drugs has a large selection of in-stock mastectomy bras, now half price. So come by our Home Equipment Department on West Main Street in Forest City. Smith Drugs, 245-4591. Sign-up forms are now available for the Meet Me at the Fountain 5K race to be held on Saturday, July the 23rd. Go to smithsdrugsfc.com.
Let's look at some other things that have been happening around our community. And for our community, I talked with Tom Roop briefly yesterday about his trip to Washington. We'll have him in to tell more about that. But Saturday, May 21st, was a hot day in Washington, D.C. 3 Rutherford County residents spent the day there, and it was one they won't soon forget. Thomas Roop and Bob Smith are both U.S. military veterans who served in the Vietnam War. They were part of the Blue Ridge Honor Flight event. Blue Ridge Honor Flight enables war veterans to visit the nation's capital, spending an entire day there visiting various sites and meeting with fellow veterans. The veterans made the trip free of charge. They have a full schedule. They're always accompanied by official Honor Flight guardians. Blue Ridge Honor Flights began flying out of Asheville in 2006. Blue Ridge Honor Flights is part of a national network of similar organizations. Rutherfordton resident Lisa Barrett was the volunteer guardian, a longtime supporter of military families with a son currently serving and a daughter who previously served in the military. Barrett has been looking forward to this trip for a couple of years. The COVID-19 pandemic led to many delays. She and Roop, who is 84, had many disappointing moments, thinking the flight was about to happen only to be canceled again. Veteran Terry Anders was originally scheduled to make the trip, but he died in 2019. And in his honor, Barrett carried a picture of Anders on the honor flight. She also took some flowers in his memory. Smith, who is 78, only recently met Barrett and learned about the honor flight program. Smith served in Vietnam in the Air Force from November 1967 to November 1968. He was eager to be part of this honor flight. Smith said, "We left Rutherford County about 4:30 a.m. and flew out of Asheville around 5:45, heading to Baltimore. There were 91 veterans on the flight. It also included numerous guardians as well as medical staff and other coordinators. Smith and Roop knew no one on the flight before Saturday except for Barrett. By the end of the day, they had met and mingled with many veterans from across the region. Both men had spent time in Washington before, but this time was different. When they returned home from Vietnam, the mood of many America was more hostile to those serving in the military. Anger about the war was often directed at the soldiers returning home. Both men have sad memories from that earlier time when there seemed to be little respect for those serving in the military. The honor flight trip to Washington helped ease some of those old memories. The day included visits to various war memorials and a special ceremony at noon at the Lincoln Memorial. They also witnessed the changing of the guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, which is an inspiring thing, folks. If you ever get up there to Washington, try to get over to the changing of the guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Throughout the trip, Smith and Roop said they were greeted like heroes wherever they were. When they departed the airplane in Baltimore, they were welcomed by a crowd of people. Adults and children shook their hands and thanked them for their service. Roop said almost at every turn there was some sort of special surprise for them. Roop and Smith said there were no strangers among the group. We had an instant connection, and it's a good thing that they do this, and thanks to Lisa Barrett for her work in setting this up. Barrett is hopeful she will be able to serve as a guardian once again, perhaps in the fall. The level of care and concern shown by the Blue Ridge Honor Flight organization is just incredible, she said. For additional information on Blue Ridge Honor Flights, visit www.blueridgehonorflight.com. This story from a story in the Daily Courier. Written by Scott Carpenter. If you were listening to My Great America with Jim and Bush on Tuesday, you have already met this young lady, but the Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce has a new executive director. In fact, there's a whole lot of new going on with the chamber. Fittingly, the nonprofit has adopted a new slogan, "It's a New Day." Cindy Cobb was recently named the new executive director, although that's not how her new employment began. Cobb, who's 57, was first employed on a part-time temporary basis. She was brought in to promote new memberships, while a previously hired director, Ashton Turnage, dealt with a medical issue. Buffy Fountain, president of the Chamber Board of Directors, said, "I wanted to make sure we were visiting businesses. A note wasn't enough. An email wasn't enough. We wanted face-to-face meetings." Cobb, with an extensive background in insurance sales, enthusiastically assumed that task. Fountain said businesses had been squawking about the absence of an active chamber. Cobb was seemingly the right choice. Along with her sales experience, Cobb has a folksy demeanor with a local drawl. She's a 1983 graduate of East Rutherford that shows she's a native of Rutherford County, which Fountain knew would be helpful toward any success. Cobb is married to Andy and a mother of three, had taken a break from a full-time career to raise her youngest daughter, a graduating senior at Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy. With her daughter heading off to college in the fall and two sons, ages 32 and 30 respectively, with careers of their own, she now had the time to commit to a new career. Serving as the Chamber's sales and membership coordinator seemed ideal for a start, and she was a natural for the role. "I think sales is in my blood," Cobb said of the days in working in her father's insurance agency. "I grew up knowing the importance of customer service. Everybody's important. Nobody is better than anybody. Be kind to people." Once Turnage resigned on April 12th, after only a short stint with the Chamber, Fountain said she then turned her attention toward recruiting a new director, and they have recruited Cindy Cobb as the new director, and they're in the new office in downtown Forest City, next door to Copper Penny. They're also launching a new website. It also has some new digs. Instead of an office in Rutherford, the Chamber has moved to 144 East Main Street, downtown Forest City, next door to Copper Penny. Well, the Ellenboro Fiddlers and Bluegrass Convention Committee recently made a donation to Ellenboro Elementary School, and with those donations, the school was able to purchase 30 music kits for Robin Waters' music class. Many of you know about the Bluegrass Convention. It's been going on a long time, and many of you have supported it and sponsored it and participated in it. The kits included a glockenspiel, a hand drum, rhythm sticks, sand blocks, maraca, and a scarf. The school also purchased 8-note C diatonic scale boom whackers and 5-note chromatic scale boom whackers that all music students, kindergarten, 5th grade, will be able to utilize. Now, I said some words there. Some of you don't know what that is, but if you have any involvement with music in that early stage, you understand what a boom whacker is. Waters is especially grateful because everyone gets to have their own kit. The committee has made many donations to the school over the past several years. Those donations have helped the school purchase playground equipment, STEM equipment, library books, and technology equipment. The committee, which includes several community volunteers, is also responsible for organizing the exhibit hall during the annual Colfax Free Fair. Committee officials thank the community businesses and individuals that sponsor the Fiddlers Convention, and that's where the money goes, to something like that. Speaking of events, you heard me mention this earlier, and I'll mention it again, and we'll have Amy Bridges in one day next week to talk further about what's happening in downtown Forest City. But the Cherry Bounce Festival is coming up June 10th through the 11th. It's a free event at the Forest City Pavilion on Park Square, or POPS it's called. There'll be live music by Balsam Range on Friday, 7:30 p.m. Gates open at 6:30. Then on Saturday, that weekend, 10 to 6, Retro 78 will be playing at 10 o'clock, Ages Past at 12, Wiregrass at 2, and Chatham Rabbits at 4. Festival ends with a baseball game at McNair Field with the Forest City Owls. 705 general admission, $7 a person. There'll be vendors, Main Street business, art vendors, food trucks, axe throwing, all kinds of things happening on the Cherry Bounce Festival days at June 10th through the 11th, and most of it is a free event for you to enjoy. 16 minutes past the hour. I'll be back in just a few moments with the Sheriff's Report with Lieutenant Lowry coming up. Imagine quality primary care health and urgent care services for you without the hassles. It is available to you and your family from Brock Family Care. Family medicine the way it ought to be. No insurance to deal with. General primary medical care, chronic disease prevention and management, urgent care, medication management, and so much more. Brock Family Care is a membership-based model where patients pay their primary care provider directly through monthly or annual fees rather than paying through an insurance provider. Not accepting any forms of health insurance cuts out the hassles and allows for more personalized and affordable health care. It may be time to move into this kind of plan for you and your family or your business. Call today and get more information. Here is the number. Write it down. 828-382-7282. This is the way health care should be. Call 828-382-7282. Brock Family Care, 289 Shallow Road, Forest City.
Saving money is easy when you shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You know, you just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. You know, when you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket.
Sheriff's Report coming up here in just a few moments. By now, I'm sure you have heard, if you followed the news at all, about the, I almost called him a name, but I'll be nice and a gentleman. I won't call him a name. But this Beto O'Rourke out in Texas, he wanted to be a president. You refused him. He wanted to be a senator out in Texas. They refused. Now he wants to be the governor of Texas. And he interrupted a serious press conference that the Governor Abbott was holding, press conference on the school shooting. Democratic Texas gubernatorial candidate Beto O'Rourke interrupted a press conference by the Texas Governor Greg Abbott on the Olvade school shooting to chastise the governor and other Republican leaders who were gathered for doing nothing about guns, he said. There wasn't the time or the place or the event for somebody to act like a child. O'Rourke interrupted just as the governor was handing the mic to Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick when O'Rourke stood up and was promptly shouted down. He said, "Governor Abbott, I have to say something." Then he listed a number of shooting massacres. "The next shooting is right now, and you are doing nothing. This is totally predictable when you," he said, and the mayor of Ulvad, Texas, shouted him down. He said, "Sir, you are out of line. Please leave this auditorium. I can't believe you are a sick SOB," except he didn't spell it out, "that would come to an event like this and make a political issue out of it." O'Rourke was escorted out of the room. He turned around and said, "It's on you until you." And then this mayor said, "It's blankety blank, explicative like you. Why don't you get out of here?" Now, how childish is that for a man who is supposedly wealthy, wanted to be president of the United States? Thank goodness we voted him down. wanted to be senator of Texas. Thank goodness they voted him down. Now he wants to be governor. This certainly will shoot him down. After he was escorted out, the governor said, quote, there are family members who are crying as we speak. There are family members whose hearts are broken. There's no words that anybody shouting can come up with here and do anything to heal those broken hearts. We all, every Texan, every American has a responsibility. And it was certainly not the appropriate time for something like that. The man is absolutely, that is so typical of the liberal crowd that who blame everything on guns. And to break into a press conference like that where they're trying to help things move along and help console the parents and the family members and the teachers. And here comes this idiot coming in shouting at the governor, Governor, I got to say something. It's your fault. And you this, that, and the other. Fortunately, there was enough people to escort him out of the building. And hopefully he'll be laughed out of the state. But please don't send him to North Carolina. We don't need him up here. Keep him down there. Send him across the border. He wanted to tear the wall down, tear everything down. It's crazy. All right, here is Lieutenant Lowry. He was with us earlier this morning by phone from the Sheriff's Department to give us the news from the Sheriff's Department, and we recorded it so you can hear it again right now.
In the past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 166 calls. The jail currently has 199 detainees in the jail, and they have processed 17 arrests. Under incident reports, we have Deputy McLaughlin of the Sheriff's Office reported an incident of resisting public officer. That subject was arrested. His name was Christopher Airwood of Forest City, charged with resisting public officer and probation violation. Gregory Millwood of Mooresboro reported an incident of breaking and entering. And David Stay of Mooresboro reported an incident of damage to property. Under arrest reports, we have James Dillon Queen of Ballstick, charged with failure to appear on felony. Christopher Jones of Ellenboro, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor ×3. We have Chad Everett Hunt of Spindale, charged with failure to report change of address. And Patricia Denise Watkins of Spindale, charged with failure to appear on felony. And that's it.
Thank you, Lieutenant Lowry. With that report, we have the Sheriff's Report Monday through Saturday mornings, and we record it for broadcast back at this time period for those who missed it earlier or who don't get up early enough to hear it. So I have to replace it, and we'll hear again this afternoon as part of the afternoon report with Kevin Pleasant here on Most Information for the Foothills WCAB. We'll take a little pause now for the calls and update you on some sports news. Coming up, I'll be back.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. We start with the NBA playoffs and the Boston Celtics. They are one win away from their first trip to the NBA Finals since 2010. Jaylen Brown had a game-high 25 points as Boston beat the Heat 93-80 to take a 3-2 lead in their Eastern Conference Finals series. Game 6 is Friday night. Tonight is Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals between the Warriors and the Dallas Mavericks. Golden State has a 3-1 advantage over Dallas. And Dallas is trying to do what no team has ever been able to do in the NBA, come back from a 3-0 deficit in a series. NHL playoffs now. The St. Louis Blues have forced a Game 6 of their Stanley Cup second-round series with the Avalanche. They erased a pair of late deficits before Tyler Bozak scored in overtime to give the Blues a 5-4 victory over Colorado at Colorado. Next game's Friday night in St. Louis. The Hurricanes are the home team tonight for Game 5 of their NHL Eastern Conference semifinal with the New York Rangers. The best of 7 tied at 2 games each. And like Carolina's first round with the Boston Bruins, the home team has won every game. So Carolina's hoping the home ice advantage continues. Head coach Rod Brindamore and defenseman Brett Pesce talked on Wednesday about coming up short on the road. They said it's not for lack of effort.
We're trying. At the end of the day, we want to score on our power play just like they are in theirs. And in the last 2 games, we did hit 2 posts on our power play. Like, we're there. It's just they got to go in. You know, they go in at different changes the dynamic of the game.
It's not like we didn't have our chances the last 2 games. You know, some bounces didn't go our way. And it's the best of 3 series now. And, you know, we've been in this position before, like you said. And we should have the confidence to hopefully pull it out.
The Carolina Hurricanes power play has been anemic away from home. Not much better in Raleigh, but even strength. Carolina goes toe-to-toe with any team in the league. Game 5 scheduled for 7 o'clock tonight at PNC Arena in Raleigh.
The Coca-Cola 600 represents everything that's great about America. It's 600 miles of wheel-to-wheel NASCAR action and heart-pounding excitement from sun-up to sundown. It's a salute to the troops on Memorial Day weekend. It's a fun family outing for fans of all ages. Visit CharlotteMotorspeedway.com to get your tickets today. Kids get in for just $10. The Coca-Cola 600 on Memorial Day weekend.
Just like a seatbelt, the COVID-19 vaccine protects you from hospitalization and death. If you get in a car accident, you want your seatbelt. And if you get COVID, you want your booster.
Vaccines keep us safe and healthy. They're here to protect all of us from the spread of COVID-19.
Please stay up to date on your COVID-19 vaccines.
So the only time you'll need to see me is for a regular checkup.
Everyone 5 and older can get a COVID-19 vaccine. Visit myspot.nc.gov.
The Rams' move from St. Louis to Los Angeles was not cheap, but owner Stan Kroenke had agreed to pay all the legal costs for the relocation. By the time the Rams and NFL reached a settlement with the city of St. Louis, the cost of the lawsuit had reached $790 million. This was not the other 31 teams' problem, since Kroenke said those costs were covered, but the owners soon changed his tune. According to a report from The Athletic, the league has taken $7.5 million from each team quietly, a total of $232.5 million to help with the cost. No word yet on whether the teams will get the money back if Kroenke ends up paying that cost himself. Owners from the other teams initially went into the move with the belief that no money would be taken from their teams. We shall see. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
100.9 FM and 590 AM. The best of both worlds. This is WCAB Rutherfordton.
What kind of world do you live in?
Showers
Your
and
world should be
thunderstorms
part of
coming
us.
in today and during the day tomorrow. Some of the rain could be heavy. Would not be surprised if we saw some localized flooding, and some of the storms could be strong to severe. We're on the lookout later this afternoon and into the evening for these showers and storms. The high in the mid-70s. Tonight's low in the mid-60s. It's mostly cloudy. Tomorrow, partly to mostly cloudy. More scattered showers and storms that could be strong. The high in the upper 70s to low 80s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Getting light rain in Rutherfordton here this morning. And we'll have rain with us pretty much all day today. Right now it is 61 degrees and cloudy and rainy. It should climb up to about 81 for a daytime high today. 81 and dropping back tonight to about 64 and the rain. Weekend, though, is looking mighty fine. Mighty fine over the weekend, including tomorrow, starting tomorrow with mostly sunny skies and mostly sunny on Saturday with temperature around 82 on Saturday and maybe even up to 90 on Sunday. We'll have a pretty good weather for the next few days after we get out from under all this rain. Rain's been good, but we've had a lot of it. Hopefully it won't flood out anything today, just light showers like this. We can handle that. We can run to the car without getting soaked, maybe with it like this. But if you're like me, your umbrella's always somewhere else, so I don't even bother to carry one anymore because I leave it somewhere, and I need it when I get, it's not raining, so I leave it somewhere. So you know how that goes. But that's me. You're probably smarter than that. All right, we don't want to continue to belabor the subject because it's on everybody's mind. Everybody's talking about it. We see it on television. We hear it on the radio. But we need to learn a little bit more about it so we can make our own decisions without reading on Facebook or all the other social media what somebody else is saying about it. But the gunman who massacred those 19 children and 2 teachers at an elementary school in Texas warned in online messages sent minutes before the attack that he had shot his grandmother and was going to shoot up a school. He sent a text to a friend, said, "I'm going to shoot my grandmother." He shot his grandmother. Then he sent a text, "I shot my grandmother and I'm going to shoot up a school." Well, I don't know where all that fell through, that somebody didn't report that, but it didn't. Salvador Ramos, I guess it is, he's 18. He used an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle in this shooting Tuesday at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, which ended when police stormed a classroom and killed him. He legally brought the rifle and a second one like it last week. He bought it last week just after his birthday on May 16th. Governor Greg Abbott said evil swept across Uvalde yesterday. Anyone who shoots his grandmother in the face has to have evil in his heart. But it is far more evil for someone to gun down little kids, he said. Investigators shed no light on the motive for the attack, which also left at least 17 people wounded. The governor said Ramos, a resident of the small town about 85 miles west of San Antonio, had no known criminal or mental health history. But about a half hour before the mass shooting, Ramos sent the first of 3 messages online. Ramos wrote that he was going to shoot his grandmother, then that he had shot the grandmother, and the last note, sent about 15 minutes before he reached Robb Elementary School, he said he was going to shoot up an elementary school, according to Abbott and investigators. Investigators said Ramos did not specify which school. Ramos sent private one-to-one text messages via Facebook, and they were discovered after the terrible tragedy. According to company spokesman Andy Stone, he said Facebook is cooperating with the investigation. As details of the latest mass killing to rock the U.S. emerged, grief engulfed that small town of a population of 16,000 people. A lot of people were killed, including 10-year-old who loved to sing, dance, and play basketball. Another one who had eagerly waited a summer of swimming, and a teacher, Eva Marlis, with 17 years' experience, whose husband is an officer with the school district's police department. Uvalde Schools Superintendent Hal Harrell said, "You can just tell by their angelic smiles that they were loved," fighting back tears as he recalled the children and teachers killed, that they loved coming to school, that they were just precious individuals. Amid calls around the U.S. for tighter restrictions on firearms, the Republican governor repeatedly talked about mental health struggles among Texas young people and argued that tougher gun laws in Chicago, New York, and California are ineffective. They got tough gun laws up there, and it's still not helping. It's not the guns, folks. I keep saying that over and over. I know many of you agree with me what I'm saying. Many of you say, "Jim, that's not right. It's got to be the guns." It's not the guns. It's the person who's handling the gun and where his heart is, where his mind is. If that kid, I don't know anything about his parents, don't know how he was raised, how he was brought up. There are mental conditions out there. But when kids fill their hours and hours on these horrid video games where they shoot people for fun, and you win points because you've killed somebody, and it becomes an applause state of activity, they do that day after day after day, night after night after night. And they watch these terrible TV shows where it's almost like a fun sport to shoot somebody. And then they're not getting any guidance from anybody about the spiritual aspects of what life is all about, who created life, and why life is important. And they grow up to do those kind of things. He could have done what he did with 2 or 3 knives if he wanted to. He just happened to have the guns. Guns are not the problem, folks. It's the person handling the gun whose heart's not right, his mind's not right, and oftentimes not raised right. Where was the father in all this? I don't know. I don't know the family background. But check out all these sources, all these people that get into trouble, do all this shooting. Check their background. Check how they were raised and what they're being taught in school. Are they being taught in school about how terrible it is to kill somebody? Thou shalt not kill. Are they being taught that anymore in school? What happened to the 10 Commandments that used to be taught in school? Now we're taught about how to change our sex because we don't like what we are. God made a mistake. We're being taught how easy it is to become the other person. I feel like a woman today or I feel like a boy today. We've been taught stuff like that instead of what's the moral thing that we should be looking at. I'm not asking anybody to bring their religious dogma into the classroom. I'm talking about bringing some kind of Judeo-Christian values into the classroom and some kind of moral code that we can live by that's there for everybody. If the kids are taught those kind of things, even just taught the 10 Commandments and explain what that means, it could make a big difference in the heart and minds of those individuals. That Democrat Beto O'Rourke, who was running against Governor Abbott for governor, interrupted the news conference I talked about a while ago, calling the tragedy predictable. Pointed his finger at the governor and said, "This is on you until you choose to do something different. This will continue to happen." He was escorted out. Someone in the room yelled at him, and the mayor, Don McLaughlin, called him a sick something or other, explicative. Went out on camera on mic. Texas has some of the most gun-friendly laws in the nation and has been the site of some of the deadliest shootings in the U.S. over the past 5 years. I just don't know how people can sell that type of gun to a kid 18 years old, said Sierra Arzimeda, the aunt of the victim, said angrily to the teacher, "What is he going to use it for that purpose?" Well, Lieutenant Christopher Alvarez of the Texas Department of Public Safety told CNN that all of those killed were in the same 4th grade classroom. Police and others responding to the attack also went around breaking windows at the school to enable students and teachers to escape. Officers eventually broke into the classroom and killed Ramos in one exchange of gunfire. The attack in the predominantly Latino town was the deadliest school shooting in the U.S. since a gunman killed 20 children and 6 adults at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newton, Connecticut back in 2012. The tragedy was the latest in a seemingly unending string of mass killings at churches, schools, stores, and other sites in the U.S. Just 10 days earlier, 10 black people were shot to death in a racist rampage at Buffalo, New York supermarket. In a summer address to the nation hours after the attack in Texas, President Joe Biden pleaded for Americans to stand up to the gun lobby and enact tougher restrictions, saying, when in God's name are we going to do what has to be done? Well, folks, I don't claim to be the smartest spoon in the drawer by any means, but I do have a little bit of background, a little bit of education. I've been around a while. But you can get strict as long as you get strict. In law-abiding people are going to do what the law says do in many cases. It's those that don't abide by the law are going to steal the guns anyway. Black market the guns anyway. It doesn't matter how strict they make them in any state. The gangsters and the crooks and the bad guys are going to get them regardless. So let's don't talk about tightening the gun laws. The prospects for any reform of the nation's gun regulations appear dim. Repeated attempts over the years to expand background checks and enact other curbs have run into the opposition in Congress. Now, I have a concealed carry permit. And when I got my concealed carry permit, took my class, got my permit, I had to fill out paperwork. They had to list it. They had to put it on records. I guess, I don't know who gets all that, the FBI or whoever it is. But somewhere they know that I've got a gun. This is what the gun is. Doesn't bother me because I know I'm not going to shoot it on anybody that don't need it. It's protection only. The shooting came days before the National Rifle Association annual convention was set to begin in Houston, with both the Texas governor and both the state's Republican senators scheduled to speak at the NRA. On the day he bought his second weapon last week, an Instagram account that investigators say apparently belonged to Ramos carried a photo of two AR-15 style rifles. That post tagged another Instagram user, one with more than 10,000 followers, asking her to share the picture. Replied the Instagram user, who has since removed her profile, I barely know you, and you tag me in a picture with some guns. It's just scary. So there'll be a lot of discussion. You'll hear all these liberals whining and crying, and the Whoopi Goldbergs of the world and the Joey Behars of the world. They're talking about how they were trying to relate the gun shootings to Roe versus Wade. Now, if that makes any sense, I'm a millionaire. Doesn't make any sense. I'm not a millionaire, but that's what the Joey Behars and the Whoopi Goldbergs and these people on The View and The Talk, whatever they are, they compare the loose, what they call loose gun laws, and try to weigh it together with the conservatives being against abortion. See, the logic doesn't. There's no sense in their logic thinking. It's kind of like they say only smoke these funny weeds all the time or drink this funny coffee. They make no sense in their logic when they talk about these kind of things. They just gotta ramble on and run that mouth, and stir people up. Say, yeah, I like Whoopi Goldberg. I like what she says. She's right, and I heard Joy Behar say this on TV, so she must be right. She's a celebrity. Oh, come on, get off of that, folks. All right, let's move on. It's 8:42. North Carolina Senate Republicans on Tuesday unveiled a wide-ranging proposal they say would help parents stay informed about what their children are being taught and how they're being treated by doctors. The measures also would tread into contentious LGBTQ matters that have caused divisive debate other places. It's called the Parents' Bill of Rights. Legislation would bar public school curriculum for kindergarten through third grade from containing instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity. Republicans contend the prohibition is more limited than a new Florida law that critics have dubbed the Don't Say Gay law, which has received intense scrutiny nationally from critics who argue it has marginalized LGBTQ people. See, the liberal crowd, they want us to liberalize all the gay movements. We should bow down and worship all those movements, the LGBTQ, XYZ people. We should bow down and give them everything they want because they have a, quote, right to be what they want to be. They want us to liberalize killing babies. Even now in California, they're talking about killing the baby after it's been born for weeks. Have you heard about this? I'm not going to get into it this morning, but they're talking about having a law where you can kill the baby even after it's been born and lived for weeks. They think, well, to liberalize killing babies, we should liberalize accepting all the LGBTQ, but let's restrict guns. Let's kill babies. Let's open the door and claim that God made a mistake when he made us male and female. Let's liberalize all of that and give them all they want, spend money on them, send them all these things they need to make their rainbow colors. But let's take guns away from everybody. Now, is that logic thinking? Am I just barking up the wrong tree here this morning? But anyway, this back to this North Carolina Parents' Rights Bill. The bill would subject health care providers to disciplinary action by licensing boards should they fail to receive parental consent for non-urgent medical treatments for a minor child, including fines of up to $5,000. With kids participating in online classrooms during the coronavirus pandemic, parents got an up-close look at what their children were being taught. It opened their eyes in a lot of ways, said Senate Leader Phil Berger, which maybe was a good thing. Parents to take a little closer look at what their children are reading and what video games they're playing and what they're watching on TV in their rooms. There might be some more eyes opened. Berger said the bill is about increasing transparency and trust in our public schools. The measure to be heard in an education committee on Wednesday would have to clear both the House and Senate before going to Governor Roy Cooper. Berger and Senator Deanna Ballard, who is helping shepherd the bill, said they hadn't spoken to Senate Democrats about the measure, but some Democratic support would be needed if Cooper vetoed the bill. The measure would be broadened. It would broaden the rights that parents already have in state and federal laws. Additional rights would include the ability to make health care decisions for their children and to be notified if a government agency suspects a crime has been committed against a child. The proposed rights would be in a state law, not in a state constitution. Berger said the provision addressing K-3 classroom instruction is different from Florida's law because the Senate's proposal would only ban content or on sexual orientation and gender identity from actual curriculum. Language down in Florida, in their law, it says classroom instruction by school personnel or third party on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3 or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. Berger said the North Carolina law would not prevent a K-3 teacher from responding to a child's LGBTQ-related question, but he said it would make sense for a school to alert the child's parents about such questions. Parents who have complained about the K-3 curriculum or don't feel properly notified about their child's physical and mental health could ultimately seek intervention from the State Board of Education and go to court. So the battle's out there, folks. I don't know how much you believe. There's a constant battle for the heart and soul of our young people and our children. It's out there, folks, and we need to take hold of what they're being trained to do or what they're not being trained to do. Parents need to take an active role in their lives of their children. I'm not saying do it like I did it in my family, but when my kids were growing up, they never had a television in their room. If they watched television, they watched it with us. We could control the matter. We control the TV programs better than letting them have a TV. They never seemed to complain about that. Of course, back then it wasn't as prevalent to have TVs in every room and all those kind of things. But we didn't let them have one in their room. They wanted one. No, you watch television with us in the family room. I'm not saying everybody should do what we did, but that worked very well with us. If they got a TV in their room and they go to the room after supper at night and stay there till bedtime, you don't know what they're watching. You don't know what they're watching on Facebook unless you have a closer look at their lives. It's important, mom and dad and grandmother and granddad, it's important that you have an active role in their lives early on, before all this. Once they get out of the house and get 18, 19 years old, it's hard to have any impact at all. Don't mean you should give up, but it's hard to have any impact. Well, one more story which indicates how important it is to be protected and protect yourself. This senior citizen down in Florida, 70-year-old Florida woman, fatally shot an alleged intruder who she said refused to leave her home on Sunday. The incident happened Sunday when the Orange County Sheriff's Office responded to a call at Virginia Morrison's residence about a burglary in process. According to Fox 35, Morrison told the outlet she was home with her partner when 38-year-old Ezequiel Rosario Torres entered her home. He stepped in. I turned and asked him, "What do you want?" The guy said nothing, kept moving forward. Then she explained how she tried to hit Rosario with a broom, but he kept knocking it away. Morrison's partner fired a warning shot, but it did not make Rosario Torres leave, she said. Then when Morrison reportedly went to get her own gun, Rosario Torres started coming toward me and I fired a shot above his head, she said. "Back off, dude," she said, and he just kept coming toward me, so I just lowered my gun and shot him. I didn't realize I hit him, but once I looked, he had a hole in his T-shirt, and I thought I got him. Rosario Torres was taken to a nearby hospital where he died from his wounds. She said, "I didn't know what he was going to do, but I knew I was going to protect myself. I'm a fighter. I'm going to defend myself. Authorities will now determine whether Morrison will face any charges Orlando attorney Mike Piniella told Fox 35 the shooting could fall under justifiable use of force. So if someone comes into your house and you don't know who they are, Florida automatically says we're presuming you're in fear. Why they shot over the head the first time, I don't know, but they chose, didn't want to kill him, but he kept coming, so she ended up shooting him, apparently in the chest. She had a gun close by, had a handgun, protecting her family, protecting herself. All right, here's a couple of words. I'm going to step aside, get ready for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Maybe Butch can settle me down a little bit in the Blue Room here in just a few moments, right after we hear from this.
Capture the moment, share the moment with Carolina West Wireless. Right now, whether you're a new or existing customer, there are great deals for everyone. With our savings stack up, you can stay connected while saving up to $1,050. Save $400 on the new iPhones 13, plus $150 when you switch, and up to $500 on device trade-ins. And with our 5G network, you can capture the moment and share it from wherever you are. Visit a Carolina West Wireless store and start saving today. Carolina West Wireless. Go stay connected. Certain restrictions apply. See representative for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services has been a family business since 1953, offering care, dignity, honor, and unique opportunities for families to create healing moments after a loss. John McMahon and his fine staff bring experience, coupled with perspective, to help pay tribute in a traditional or unique way. Call 287-4715 or visit online today at McMahansFuneralHome.com. There, you can view current obituary information or pre-plan for yourself or a loved one. McMahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Services, offering healing to the community through burial and cremation services, grief support, whether it's a funeral or a memorial service. McMahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Services, 249 South Main Street in Rutherfordton, know the importance of ceremony and will guide you in honoring the life and memories of your loved one. Call McMahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Services today at 287-4715.
8:52, folks, I've enjoyed my time with you this morning since about 6 o'clock this morning. Thanks for being a part of the audience and letting me shake you awake in the mornings. And thanks for letting me chat with you a few minutes and get some things out that I feel like in my mind, in my heart, you need to become more aware of. The more we know about the facts, true facts, the better we can deal with the situation. Let's don't get involved in all the stuff that we read on social media, because a lot of that's not accurate. If somebody heard something, then they repeat it to somebody else, and then before you know it, it's a dirty tub of water. So let's try to get the facts, and I'll do my best. I promise you, I'll do my best to get the facts to you as it relates to it. But right now, step aside, get a fresh drink of water, and get ready for My Great America with Jim Butch coming up in just a moment.
The music's on us on WCAB.
I'm Dave Packer. We're now hearing from the mother of the 18-year-old Uvalde, Texas school shooter. ABC Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman is in Uvalde with more.
The mother of the gunman telling ABC News she had uneasy feelings sometimes about her son, saying he can be aggressive if he got really mad. The shooter's grandfather telling me he had no idea his grandson, who had stopped going to school, had built up that small arsenal.
I didn't know he had weapons or nothing or this or that there. If I would have known, I would have reported him.
You would have reported your own grandson?
Yes.
Texas lawmakers say strict gun control measures are not necessary, shifting blame toward mental illness for the rampage that left 19 children and 2 teachers dead. ABC congressional correspondent Rachel Scott.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott insists guns were not the problem in the Uvalde mass shooting.
We have a problem with mental health illness in this community.
But interrupting Abbott's press conference, former Democratic Congressman Beto O'Rourke, running for governor himself.
This is on you until you choose to do something different.
Texas recently loosening restrictions on purchasing and carrying guns. Democrats in Washington calling for federal reform.
The Commerce Department says the U.S. economy shrank in the first 3 months of the year, even though consumers and businesses kept spending at a solid pace. GDP down 1.5%. Turns out a mix-up in the mail may have played a critical role in the baby formula shortage. A whistleblower who used to work at Abbott sending the FDA a report back in October detailing health violations at Abbott's plant in Michigan. But the FDA says it didn't get that whistleblower complaint until February. It languished in the mailroom for 4 months. And Abbott Vice President Christopher Calamari told reporters,
Abbott did not find out about it until it was made public in the end of April.
Oklahoma's governor signing the strictest abortion law in the country. From now on, nearly every abortion is outlawed from the moment of conception. You're listening to ABC News.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The number of Americans filing first-time unemployment claims already near 50-year lows, falling again. The Labor Department saying the 210,000 filed last week. That's down 8,000 from the week before. Several Republicans running for governor of Michigan in danger today of having their campaigns derailed. A state board there saying that they're set to vote on whether they've got enough signatures on their petitions. 2 top Republicans could be ruled ineligible. Former Detroit Police Chief James Craig and businessman Perry Johnson. Closing arguments now expected tomorrow in the lawsuit pitting Johnny Depp against Amber Heard. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more.
Johnny Depp taking the stand once again at the defamation trial against his ex-wife Amber Heard. The case stems from Heard's 2018 essay in which she claimed to be an abuse victim. Depp once again denying he abused her.
All false.
Heard's defense team presented Depp with a series of text messages in which Depp appeared to use vile language in reference to women, including one message sent to a friend in 2017 about sex with a woman which read, "I need, I want, I take." Depp claims he did not write the message.
And Heard may testify again today. They're suing each other for tens of millions of dollars. And a cookie maker is teaming up with a cracker for a salty sweet snack. Oreo and Ritz have announced a combination mixing the classic Oreo cream filling with peanut butter. 1,000 packages are available through a giveaway on Oreo's website. This is ABC News.
If you have a small business, Staples has your sign.
Banners for my bakery?
Staples has your sign.
Oh, posters for my new pet store.
Floor decals for a pharmacy.
Every day, Staples associates help every kind of small business create bold signs to make big impressions. And now get $10 off custom signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. This is your sign, so print it big at Staples. N72. Visit staplesconnect.com/thisisyoursign for details.
Dave Packer, ABC News.
We do have a couple of rounds of showers and thunderstorms coming in today and during the day tomorrow. Some of the rain could be heavy. Would not be surprised if we saw some localized flooding, and some of the storms could be strong to severe. We're on the lookout later this afternoon and into the evening for these showers and storms. The high in the mid-70s. Tonight's low in the mid-60s. It's mostly cloudy. Tomorrow, partly to mostly cloudy. More scattered showers and storms that could be strong. The high in the upper 70s to low 80s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Cloudy, rainy, and 62 degrees here at WCAB in Rutherfordton. Serving the foothills of the Carolinas, we're 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Well, good morning, Butch. It's raining outside, but I feel happy and cheery inside.
You know what? You invariably have some encouraging nugget to offer in the morning.
I hope so.
Well, you do. And listen, I was in there for almost an hour listening to you on the air, and you were passionate about what you were talking about. We're going to talk a little bit today on My Great America with Jim and Butch about some things that have gripped the country, this shooting, but we're going to tell you what it is and what it's not.
Okay.
Because there's so much. You see, one of the things that's made America great is that we were anchored as a nation in wanting to know truth, and it's become so difficult to know truth. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. A quick reminder that today is an onion pickup day. I'm sure this is not being said maybe anywhere else in the state of North Carolina. It's a Vidalia onion pickup day at the Republican Party headquarters. And I talked to Bryson Smith this morning, the young, very tenacious, effective, and, just kind head of the local Republican Party. And he told me that during the day, people are going to be dropping in. There may be a few sets of onions still available for purchase. Not too many, though. They are going to have refreshments there. And, of course, they have a monthly meeting tonight that will take place. I guess it's 6 o'clock is typically when they do it. They're going to have a variety of things for you to eat. If you've been sitting on the sidelines waiting and wondering when is it time for you to be engaged with the Rutherford County GOP, the official Rutherford County GOP, the one that Michael Whatley knows, who's the head of the Republican Party in North Carolina, Jason Williams, Faith and Freedom, it's your official RCGOP, headed by Bryson Smith, and today is Vidalia Onion Day. So
let me mention this: some folks who ordered through me for the onions. If you're listening, I will pick those up from the headquarters and have them here at the station. I will call you. I've got your number. I'll call you, let you know they're here, so you can pick them up from me here.
I'm telling you, WCAB is known for customer service. You've got the owner of the station picking up onions for you to be able to pick up. It's a great chance for you to come and tell Jim Bishop the good job that he's doing. In the middle of so much disinformation, isn't it an encouragement to know that you can flip on early in the morning WCAB and you can get an interpretation of the news and a reinforcement of all the values that our country was built on, that so many are trying to take away from us and erode, and yet we're able, shoulder to shoulder, Jim, to bring light into the darkness, which is what we've been called to do. So please make sure that you stop by the Republican Party today to pick up your Vidalia onions. Also make sure that you come to the meeting tonight. If you've never been before, you want to kick the tires, get to know the people there. It's a diverse group from all parts of the county. It's not dominated by one particular group. I'll just make that little editorial comment. It's just citizens, men and women, old and young, that want to change our county and help it be everything it can be.
The official GOP.
The official GOP. And I was not paid to say this. It's out of my heart. The other thing is, Jim, I know you mentioned Memorial Day, the Remember and Honor ceremony on Main Street, Monday the 30th at 11 a.m., downtown Forest City. I'm going to plan to be there. My father was a pilot in the Air Force. We've talked about this before. And when I was at South Morrison Elementary School, which was in the Tidewater area of Virginia, Newport News, there were a lot of military children that were in that school. And I can remember times, Jim, because we had Fort Eustis, the Army Transportation. We had at the time Fort Monroe. We had the Naval Weapons Station. We had Langley Air Force Base. Over across the water, over the under the tunnel there, you had the Naval Air Base. You had the Newport News Shipyard, which builds half of our submarines and all of our aircraft carriers. Heavy, heavy military area. As a matter of fact, back in the 60s and 70s, the height of the Cold War, it was identified that that Tidewater area of Virginia, because of all the military installations and the infrastructure there, was way up at the top of the list for any kind of preemptive nuclear strike. But I can remember, in the spirit of remembering Memorial Day, times, a handful of times, where there would be somebody that would come to the classroom and they would call out a child, and it was because a dad had died in Vietnam.
Sad.
And, I can remember the Cuban Missile Crisis when we lived in Laplace, Louisiana. I was a little boy. All the shelves in the grocery store that were empty because people really, we had bomb shelter exercises in the classroom.
Sure.
And there were people that were building bomb shelters. We dare not forget those who laid down their life going back to the founding of this nation for the sake of liberty, Jim, and we can tangibly show our identification with all of those sacrifices by participating in things
Absolutely.
like this.
I come from a family of military. My dad wasn't ever in service because he was a minister, didn't go, but one of his brothers was killed during World War II. Another one of his brothers spent about 6 years in the Army. I had a brother that spent about 8 years in the military, National Guard, and the Air Force. So my family's been rooted in the military over these years. Of course, I spent 4 years in the Air Force myself. So you're right. We need to stop a moment and just pay our respect for those folks who spent their lives doing that or gave their lives for it, because it is a memorial service, and they will honor those folks in Monday morning there at the monuments are, their flags, and it's a very impressive, very emotional kind of time.
Well, and it's important for us to remember, and it's biblical for us to do so. We need to honor those that have laid down their life for this nation. I've got a son-in-law who's a graduate from the Air Force Academy. He's a wing commander right now up at the University of Pittsburgh, but he's being reassigned to Colorado Springs. Tatiana was on here before and did a great job. She wonders when she can come back after they move. They're moving to Colorado Springs, and he's going to be part of the Space Force out there, which Donald Trump, number 45, created. And folks, there is much more going on in that arena. It was really prescient thinking on President Trump's part, because more and more we're coming to understand that some of the rogue nations like Russia, North Korea, China, Iran are all exploring the possibilities of doing things like sending up ballistic missiles into space and, for example, destroying communication satellites. That would be devastating for that to happen. So number 45 had the forward thinking to understand that we're going to need to have the resources available for the Space Force. So his name is Ben Scroggins, and he'll be in Colorado Springs there. I think they move in June. And then tomorrow, I'm just saying this because I'm a proud dad in a godly sort of way I trust. My son Samuel graduates from medical school.
Oh, great.
And on June the 10th, he'll be making his way down to New Orleans, and he's in the dual residency program at LSU. And he'll be doing a dual residency in pediatrics and internal medicine. So, he tries when he can. It's a busy life when you're in med school to listen to My Great America. So I'm going to send him this episode. And from all the folks out here in Rolfton, we're so grateful for your diligence. He's a humble guy. He's very sweet, loves Jesus, and has been tenacious. And through his entire schooling, Jim, he's never had anything less than an A.
Wow.
And he was the only one of our children where I never had to say, did you do your homework? And when he was on his baseball team, his coach came to me. He was 10 years old, and he said, your son knows the rules better than I do. And Samuel would be out there in a humble way coaching the infielders, the outfielders. This person hits left. You need to move over there. And it was the sweetest little thing. Privately, the coach said, your son is like another coach for me out on the field. And he was always encouraging other people. So, we want the most important gift we can give our children is to point them to Jesus. That's the way that I feel. And so as he embarks on this new journey, I'm really happy for him. And also, we can keep him in our prayers.
He's the kind of doctor I would want doctoring on me with that kind of aptitude.
Well, and you know what's really interesting is the picture that he sent me in his uniform, if you will, what he wears, his doctor's garb. It had a little stuffed animal that was poking out of part of his over apron thing, and I guess he uses that when he's with the children. Who knows what? But, well, the nation's focus right now is on a horrific act of evil that bubbled up out of a heart that obviously was darkened by who knows what. At some point, I've been talking to Mark Morris about the possibility of doing a church radio program. Our church, Word of Faith Fellowship, does church radio programs on video games. One thing that is not well known is how huge that industry is, and how so much of what's there desensitizes young people. You have games where you're shooting and you're killing and the like. I'm not hearing anybody talk about the pervasive violence on so many of these video games. You take Halo, for example, and that platform is global, where you've got people that are fighting wars, shooting, seeing blood, seeing heads come off, seeing bodies dismembered. And from the time you're little, you've got children that are believing that you grab a gun and you shoot and it's just a game.
Success.
It's success, and then you see the numbers and it's competitive and the like. I believe it's a contributing factor to a lot of what's out there. I will also tell you this. We know that Satan is the darkened force in this world, and there is this present darkness. And so we've got to be so careful, Jim, that we don't deflect attention from what the core issues are. This is not a time for people to be grandstanding and have a lot of bombastic language saying, see, we told you so, let's get rid of our guns, or let's change our gun laws. Now, I'm not against at all responsible gun registration, responsible background checks, but I will tell you this, it is absolutely clear that the left is politicizing this issue, trying to create noise and distractions in anticipation of what a lot of political pundits are calling the potential for a bloodbath when it comes to the elections in November. So if you can make enough noise over here, take no regard for the man behind the curtain, just make a lot of noise over here, and you try to capitalize on the sadness that people legitimately feel for, a teacher that tried to save the lives of her children and the children that were just ruthlessly killed.
Yeah. Back to your point about the video games as well, as bad as some of them are, what folks don't realize also, and parents don't realize sometimes, kids are spending hours and hours and hours all alone in their room shooting people with a video game.
Right.
And getting points for it and cheering along. Those kind of hours by themselves in a darkened room with that kind of thing going into our brains and into our hearts, it has to have a destructive ending to it. And parents need to stop that.
Yeah, and it tells us in Scripture to set no ungodly thing before us. When I was little in a independent Baptist Sunday school, we used to sing a song, Jim, be careful what little
eyes what you see.
Be careful little eyes what you see, be careful little ears what you hear, for the Father up above is looking down in love. Be careful little eyes what you see. That's a biblical principle.
Yeah.
I will set no idol before me, and anything that is not inspired or directed by God, by God's Word, which is the mirror for us, for what's happening in the culture and what's happening in our own heart. Anything that becomes an idol can become an open door for Satan to influence people. And I'm going to give a quick example here of why it's wrong for us to come to bad conclusions. Okay, so you remember the Oklahoma City bombing?
Yes.
Well, let me remind people, because this is going to be an example of how you really try to get at the truth of a matter. The Oklahoma City bombing was a domestic terrorist attack. It was on the Alfred Murrah building in Oklahoma City. It was on April 19th, 1995. It was perpetrated by two anti-government extremists. The bombing happened at 9:02. It killed at least 168 people, injured more than 680 others, destroyed more than one-third of the building, which had to be demolished. It destroyed or damaged 324 other buildings within a 16-block radius, shattered glass in 258 nearby buildings, destroyed or burned 86 cars. It caused an estimated $652 million worth of damage. I know about the Oklahoma City bombing because the day after it happened, I had a phone call from the Salvation Army, and they retained the firm that I was a partner in to handle all the public relations around this event. So I'm not just talking about something I read on Wikipedia. It was my life for a period of time to handle the flow of the information. Well, what's interesting to know about this is that the person who did it, Timothy McVeigh, was the primary person. He was, of course, executed through the death penalty. He wore a printed T-shirt with Sic Semper Tyrannius, thus always to tyrants, what, according to legend, Brutus said as he assassinated Julius Caesar. It was also claimed to have been shouted by John Wilkes Booth immediately after the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. And on the shirt, the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants, from Thomas Jefferson. He also carried an envelope full of revolutionary materials that included a bumper sticker with the slogan falsely attributed to Thomas Jefferson: when the government fears the people, there is liberty. When the people fear the government, there is tyranny. Underneath, he had it written, maybe now there will be liberty. Now, that day was horrific. It killed so many people. There was a daycare there as well. But what's interesting to know is it wasn't guns that were used.
Right.
It was the number one act of domestic terrorism that's taken place. It wasn't guns that was used. You know what was used? It was a rented Ryder truck filled with nitrate fertilizer, ammonium nitrate, and diesel fuel. And it was detonated, and it created that kind of havoc. Now, are we going to tell people, let's get rid of fertilizer? Let's get rid of ammonium nitrate, and let's for sure get rid of diesel fuel.
Yeah.
Those were the three elements, simple elements, put in a rented Ryder truck that created such incredible heartache and carnage, Jim. So the logic is just not there.
And while we're doing that, let's get rid of the Ryder trucks.
Right. That horrific thing that happened at 9:02 a.m. on April 19th, 1995, it will go down as a day in infamy, was created by simple things that you could get at hardware stores or weed and feed stores, or if you have a driver's license, you can get a Ryder truck. So we have got to be so careful. You know, the history of firearms in the United States is well known, but just a brief review. The first preserved firearm that we have goes back to about 1288. And the Chinese actually invented what became firearms, and it was bamboo that was filled with gunpowder, and it was not much more than something to scare people, but it was like a little rifle with bamboo. And it was pre-1288 when this happened. They became much more sophisticated, but they were the originators, the Chinese. If you want to blame somebody, blame the Chinese. They were the ones who invented these. Then you look briefly at American history, and what you had is you had the movement of these Chinese-related technologies, gunpowder and early rifles and the like, made its way over into Europe. And then, of course, the Europeans that were explorers had very rudimentary firearms, but when they came to the United States, you know, they encountered what they called savage tribes, and it became something that allowed the early colonization because there was an advantage there weapon-wise, you know, bows and arrows and lances, tomahawks, against muskets. So I'm just giving you a brief history in the United States here. Then what you had is in the Revolutionary War, you had a clear embodiment in the DNA of the United States, a sense of no more tyranny, and we're going to defend our rights, our honors, and our freedom. So if you want to trace back the indelible connection between the American population and guns, it came from the roots and the fires of us fighting for our freedom. And the Second Amendment codified the right for us to bear arms. So it's constitutional, and it grew out of what happened in history. Then what you had in the transformation of guns is you had the exploration post-Revolutionary War across the United States. And you want to blame somebody? Blame the grizzly bears, because they, in part, precipitated the development of repeater rifles. So you didn't have to just tamp in a musket ball, but repeater rifles. And a lot of historians say the grizzly bears were one of the reasons, because you're out there, you're Lewis and Clark, you're whatever. You need more than, you don't have time when it's charging at you. And then from that, of course, we had wars, and we had this strong historic sense of affiliation with guns. Now, people also lose sight, Jim, of the fact that a lot of the language is out there in the marketplace right now. People don't know what they're talking about. They think that machine guns are being sold to teenagers, and it's just not the case. So we do have a Second Amendment. We do have constitutionally guaranteed rights to bear arms. You can look at the horror in a number of the liberal cities that have they have created more intense restrictions on guns. And what has happened? Look at Chicago. Yeah. Look at some of these cities. So the existential evidence does not bear proof. And what is happening right now is there's a dog whistle that's been blown, and all of the dogs are coming out of the woodwork to try to find somebody to blame. So they're going to try to focus on Governor Abbott. They're going to try to say Trump created this. They're going to lay it at the feet of Republicans and try to spin it. I used to be a Democratic spinner. I know how you spin this top. And the way it's going to be spun, Jim, is there is going to be this sense of the Republicans aren't compassionate. You remember Sandy Hook? You remember what happened in Uvalde? By the way, I'm a native Texan, so it's Uvalde, Texas. You remember what happened, and you're going to try to tap into the emotional pain of a nation when it comes to this.
It is something that we really ought to study very deeply and understand some of the sources of which that derives. And going to the scriptures is one of those places we can go to understand what's been done right now.
Right. Well, and for anyone who believes that people are inherently good, theologically and practically, and looking at my own life, I have to sharply disagree. Apart from a Savior, I'm going to say this, the story of my life is I'm as capable of treacherous behavior as anyone. Why? Because our life is either controlled by the living God who gave us his son Jesus, or it's controlled by Satan. There's not some in-between where I'm a good person, you're a good person, you do what you want, I'll do what I want. Our nation was founded based on the anchored principles that are eternal in Scripture, and we don't talk enough about personal responsibility. Hillary Clinton was the one who said it takes a village. There are scriptures that talk about we need to come together, we need to worship together. Churches, families, the deterioration of families, all of these things have contributed, COVID, to a spiraling mental illness issue in America today. You take isolation, sleep deprivation, video games, people that are confused about their gender because of imposed norms. Mm-hmm. You put all of that in the blender, and you come out with a toxic mix. And I don't know what drove the shooter, the killer, this evil young man, to do what he did. But I can tell you this, it wasn't a gun that jumped into his arms and said, I want to go shoot somebody today.
No, it wasn't. It has to come to the heart and mind of an individual.
It's 9:29.
Yes. We got to get out of here.
Yes, we do. Let me say this real quickly. Let's talk about personal accountability. Let's make that our benediction today. The great American statesman Daniel Webster was once asked, what is the most sobering thought that ever entered your mind? He quickly replied, my personal accountability to God. Webster knew that he would one day stand before God in eternity and give an account for all of his actions. The same applies to every man, woman, and nation. So let that be our sobering reminder today. Our thoughts, our words, and our deeds will give an account for one day before the living God. Our country is made great when we remember that our devotion, allegiance, and pursuit of God, you have to believe that he is and rewards those who diligently seek him, is the foundation of a stable nation.
Amen. God bless America.
God bless America, Jim.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.
We do have a couple of rounds of showers and thunderstorms coming in today and during the day tomorrow. Some of the rain could be heavy. Would not be surprised if we saw some localized flooding, and some of the storms could be strong to severe. We're on the lookout later this afternoon and into the evening for these showers and storms. The high in the mid-70s. Tonight's low in the mid-60s. It's mostly cloudy. Tomorrow, partly to mostly cloudy. More scattered showers and storms that could be strong. The high in the upper 70s to low 80s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.